For the first one, I want to make an indoor pink flamingo. I guess you could also use this on a porch, but what I want to do is make this little pink flamingo into a succulent planter using one of the Dollar Tree like chunky wood signs as the base. I think that will be heavy enough. So I'm going to simply cut an opening in the top of it to make it into a little planter. The plastic on these pink flamingos from the Dollar Tree is really thin, so it's really easy to cut. I have the best luck using a razor blade, and I just cut like a little rectangular shape. I don't want it to be too big. It's not going to require a lot to add some succulents to it. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but I just kind of have the shape that I think is going to work for that. And I also want it to be open because it's going to help me attach the legs. I'm going to replace the wire legs that came with the pink flamingo with some of the wood dowels from the Dollar Tree, attempting to make it stronger to be able to act as a planter. And I think I'm going to be actually using this as a centerpiece, but you could really use this on your porch. You could use it on shelf decor. It turned out so cute. So for the legs, normally they're side by side like that and they have the wires that go out, but they're really not that stable. So I'm going to try to replace it. I just poked two more holes to kind of make them go right there on the seam of the pink flamingo. And I'm just going to paint the wood dowels pink. Now, these are not very long, but I think they're going to be long enough for this project. I'm not going to try to do a knee or anything on this. I really just want some stability to hold the whole thing together. So I just painted a bright magenta pink color. I have looked at pink flamingo legs because there are all different kinds of pink flamingos, and some of them have pink legs, some of them have orange legs. I think they kind of vary depending on what kind of species of flamingo they are. I do like the way that the color that these are, but I thought I would update mine slightly. So I'm taking that same magenta paint color and I am just going all over. I'm not covering everything, but I want it to be different colors of pink. So I put that on the back of the pink flamingo, wiping off any excess with a paper towel. And it's just kind of brightening up a little bit. I'm just trying to be careful not to get any on the eyes and the beak there. I want to leave those. I think those are painted fine. So I just wipe that off if I get any on there. And it added a little bit more punch to the pink. But I'm also going to go over it and distress it a little bit more with some white added to that magenta to give me another shade of pink too, because it has this like really cool texture on there that can be brought out, that feather print. And I'm just using one of those little sponge stencil daubers from the Dollar Tree and dragging that all over to distress my penguin. And one reason I'm doing this is because I want to use this as a centerpiece, I think, for my kitchen table, that it's gonna make it look a little bit more like a planter or sculpture and less like plastic. You know, the pink is all one color, it's kind of uniform. And so this is what it looks like with a couple different colors added to it. I really like that effect. Now to put the legs together, I really want this to be stronger than the metal legs that come with it. So I'm going to have to find a way to drill into the sign, but first I want to cover it with some faux grass. This is the faux grass from the Easter aisle at Dollar Tree the past couple years. I love it. I'm just going to cut out a rectangular shape, slightly bigger than my sign because there is like a black matting on this that can sometimes show along the edges, and simply cut that out. It's going to give me a faux grass look that makes the pink flamingo look like it's standing in somebody's lawn, which I absolutely love. So once I get that cut out, I go in and try to cut off the excess black parts here from the side, as you can see. That's why you have to cut it a little bit larger than you need. And then I'm simply going to just glue this onto the wood sign. When I drill the holes for the flamingo legs, I'll just have to try to find a way to go through the grass as well, because I really want that to be attached and covering the entire base of the flamingo centerpiece. Now, as far as the legs, I cut little holes with my Cricut weeder, and I'm going back in with a razor blade to cut a couple slits on it. I want it to be really tight. I don't want to cut it too big, but I did find that you do have to kind of cut like an X pattern to make that work, and that is what I did, where I can put the legs in. And since I have the top cut open, I can glue it from the inside. So I add my leg and then add hot glue there on top to start gluing that in place. And I do glue it a couple of times to try to make it really strong, and I'm really impressed with how it turned out. It's probably the most stable pink flamingo DIY I've ever made. But I just added the second leg and I'm adding hot glue to that too. I'm adding a lot of hot glue in there. And I'm gonna kind of set that aside, let that sit up. I do want it to kind of go out different ways like that. I think that adds to the pink flamingo look and will look really cute here on the base of the sign. Now, as far as the base of the sign, I do need to drill some holes. I'm using my largest drill bit and my power drill to drill a couple holes. I did have a little bit of trouble going through the grass, but I was able to get it through there. And it cut it, but you can't really see the opening too much. So I just went back in there with just like an ink pen to open that up a little bit so I can actually see where I need to get the wood dowel into it. And I just drilled a hole there for both legs. Now, I did want to make sure that it is really sturdy, so I went ahead and hot glued here on the outside. Not real obvious amount of hot glue, just kind of on the back side there. And I added more hot glue on the inside as well, letting that sit up too, because again, I want that to be as sturdy as I can get it. And I also want this to be really tight. So I'm going to go ahead and use another one of the wood dowels to try to make sure that I have my holes drilled properly before I go to put this together. So I just use a hammer and kind of force those in. I do want it to be really snug. And it seems like I got the right size. So I just add a little hot glue to each one of the holes to help hold it in there as well. And simply put my wood dowels inside. And I think I finally have it stable enough. I think it's going to do a lot better than the metal legs for sure. Now to fill up the planter part, I'm just using foam, and the inside of the flamingo is a lot larger than the opening, so I do just have to kind of cut it down into pieces. I just want enough foam to be added where my succulents are going to stay in place, and I want to try to fill it up as much as I can. So I just cut it down into little pieces and add them separately. I'm going to be adding 3 different succulents. 2 of them are from the Dollar Tree, and one I got at Dollar General the other day. They're actually cheaper at Dollar General. They're only $1, and I kind of like the fact that their stems are smaller because, as you can see, these Dollar Tree ones have some like really large stems on there. Makes it a little bit difficult to get it down inside the foam like that, but I want the taller piece towards the back and the smaller ones in the front. So this is one of the ones I got at Dollar General. Isn't that cute? I love the way it looks and feels. I just went ahead and added that to the pink flamingo as well. And then I finish it off with just a little bit of Spanish moss anywhere where there might be a gap just to make sure you can't see any foam. And I really like the effect that gives too. But this is how it turned out. My little pink flamingo planter DIY. Again, I'm going to use mine as a centerpiece, but I think this would be really cute summer shelf decor or even for your front porch. I think it would be fine out there as well.